You know the time, well, I mean, you don't know, but the time when I was in first grade and they removed me from the class because I was too smart to be there. So they moved me to fourth grade. And none of these things ever made sense. Like, from a child, from my first memories, I remember being fully aware, like an adult. And looking back, it's like really the only reason why I wasn't an adult when I was a foot tall and 4 years old was because there were 5 foot tall people around me who had guns and armies, and they told me I wasn't an adult. So, it was like a oppressive situation, and I had to unify under the United States of Stockholm Syndrome. United Stockholm Syndrome of America. That's what it should be called. Because it's United Stockholm Alliance. Because it's not even like States of America. It's like an empire that's, according to the backstory, has existed for 6,000 years. And it's not just the United States. There's openly 4 allied nations accumulating about 1/6 of the world's land, and then unofficially it's probably occupying 90% of the world, and then more accurately, the people who think they're the United Stockholm Alliance are occupying small parts of those other nations, so probably about a 60%. Depending on which viewpoint you're looking at it from and which definition. But anyways, after I seen everything, it made me look back on what really happened. Was I like smarter than other kids? Yeah, they'd already did that in kindergarten. I could read, and other kids didn't know their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s yet. So they set me to the side before first grade. But when first grade came along, they had decided that they should move me to fourth grade, advance me up 1, 2, 3 grades, right? Yeah. And that was really weird because they didn't actually do anything about it. They kind of set me to the side. They didn't include me in the fourth grade class. And I don't know who asked the question. Probably me, because I'm an adult in this world, apparently. At 4 years old or 6 years old, I had to ask the question, why am I here just doing nothing? Yeah, maybe my mom actually asked that question. Someone asked that question. And I don't think my mom understood like what was going on. So, and it might not have been, I even asked the question, it could have been the world was speaking to me, because I can just sit around and listen to people and they'll have conversations with each other, but they'll be speaking to me. So I got the bit of information that I was set aside because they didn't want me getting beat up, which is by the older kids, because I'm like this little child in a fourth grade classroom, right? And which is really BS, because the one person who was also isolated with me was a fourth grader who, from my analyzations, he was probably the bully of the class. Now, he wasn't a bully towards me. Like, bullies aren't, people who bully other people generally don't, like, act that way towards me. And so I noticed that had happened. But what was really odd was, like, I think it was like a day before. Now, this was like, I was, 6 or something, so my memories were just beginning to form around this time. And it was so long ago, I don't remember exactly, but like a day before that shit happened, they, they noticed that a girl was hitting on me. There's an Asian girl hitting on me. Like, I mean, she was just communicating with me, but I mean, why else do girls and boys speak to each other, right? Although society doesn't want to say there's some other reason. That's the only reason. You know, I'm smart enough to see what's going on, and you know, we don't go hang out with females because we want them to come play football with us or build SpaceX with us. You know, and they don't. Well, they might come around and try to get us to play Barbie dolls with them, but in fact, I remember that happening once, and it wasn't too bad. It was a pretty girl, but she had hit on me. She was like eating her scabs and stuff, and like I don't know if she knew I did that or if the system knew I did that and it pushed her towards doing that. And she was like in general, you know, just being excited to look at me and get my attention and stuff like that. You know how it is. People don't have to come out and say, "Hey, let's have babies," to make you think that they like you. And so I got moved to this 4th grade class from 1st grade to 4th grade, like right after that happened. And looking at some of this other stuff in the world around me, it makes me think, like, what would have happened if I would have been allowed to stay around that Asian girl? Like, you know, if I met a girl who liked me when I was like 6 years old, we probably would have bonded excellent. Like, if I had any friend from when I was 6 years old, if I had anyone I could trust from when I was 6 years old, we would have probably bonded excellent. You know, my mother and my father, it doesn't matter whatever bullshit me and my mother have gone through. Like, we probably come back together like Voltron at any point in time. You know, it doesn't matter the problems I caused my father when I lived with him. You know, like, he always laughs stuff off. We come back together like Voltron at any time. I don't think it matters. You know, me and my brother had a couple fights. Like, we always, like, got along pretty cool. We're going to come together like Voltron at any time. Even my friends, who I feel might have turned on me and might be part of this other system, like, I could tell, like, he was kind of sad that this weird shit started happening between us. And, you know, I can't, like, think of him as an enemy, even though, like, maybe I really should. You know, because it's a young bonding. So if I would have been, like, allowed around that Asian girl when I was, like, 6, we probably would have bonded permanently. And, you know, I'd probably have, like, 25 children by now, and I'd probably own some, like, I'd own some, like, you know, compound, like a Mormon compound or something like that. It was odd because my brother went on to join those groups and formed family alliances with those groups. And so he is, like, part of something like that. But it makes me think, like, what was the purpose? But then again, last night I seen some new stuff where, like, they were hinting that society hunts down, like, intelligent people. And it made me begin to wonder, like, is there, like, a different cause to what was happening around me? Were some people, like, purposely hiding me, you know, from society? There's, like, a Twilight Zone episode they showed me, and people are like, this is how it is today. And the Twilight Zone episode was where there was, like, a kid, and he took a test, and he scored too high, so the government contacted his parents and said, your kid has scored too high, we're gonna, do you want him cremated, or where do you want him buried? And that was, like, the end of it right there. Like, they just closed the credits right there. And it made me look back and wonder, like, have I been hidden from the system? Have they been hiding me for a long time? And you also look at some of the other stories going on, like the prophecy and stuff like that. And the prophecy, when the children were born, they hunted down all the firstborn because they wanted to kill the person they thought was being born at that time. Jesus was being born at that time, so they hunted down all the first